We continue in Readers Workshop with a combination of two 10-minute reading mini-lessons. Notice how the teacher opens the mini-lesson by engaging thinking with reference to the prior lesson and states the objective.
Okay, boys and girls, today we're going to come back to our story that we read yesterday, which was using timelines. And yesterday we learned some key details about timelines when we read this story. What did we find out that was that we learned about different types of timelines? Matthew. That's about text features. We'll talk about that in a minute. But we also talked about, when we read it, we did some key details about different timelines. How are they different?
That there's some different dates.
Sometimes they're by dates. Sometimes, Matthew, they're by what else? Months, I heard it. Sometimes they're by, can you think of another one?
Different pictures. The past? No, years?
Years. They could be by years. They can be, Ovea, thank you for raising your hand.
They could be by time.
By time, that's right. So we learned lots of key details about timelines yesterday. We also learned about text features yesterday, because this is an informational book, nonfiction. And what were some of the text features that we saw yesterday that we found? Looking for Carolina. Can you remember a text fixture yesterday that we looked at?
Glossary.
A glossary? Can you give me another one? Can you give me another one? Glossary. What else? What are some other text features? I see this group back here all have their hands raised. They're bringing it up in their brain. Matthew?
Contents.
Table of contents. Good job. One more. Ian. Glossary. Table of contents. Let's look and see. We can look on our list that we made yesterday.
Timeline.
The timeline is actually a text feature. We've got photos, table of contents, and the index. What is the glossary? What was the glossary? Somebody had a glossary today in their guided reading. I believe it was the two of you. What was the glossary? They learned about the glossary.
Fines. Fines.
Timeline.
Lines, yeah, it wants to.
Fines.
That's all right, I'll just tell you. Tell me about glossary. Can't remember.
I know.
All right, tell me.
It tells you what words mean.
What the words mean. The glossary is, if you don't know what the word means, you can look in the back. I need your eyes up here. You can look at the back and find the definition of the word. So today we're going to, I can identify some signal words that can help me know the sequence of events. So Miss Johnson says that you know some signal words or time words. What would be a signal word or a time word? First. Give me another one, Carolina. Last. Give me another one. Second. Give me another one. After. Abigail. What? Dud? I don't think that's a sequence word. Third. Okay. Good job. All right, so that's what we're going to learn. That's what we're going to learn about today. It's sequence words. So I'm going to go to, let's look at this timeline. Put your things away. Thank you, I appreciate it. Put your pencils away, I appreciate it. Then this back right here. All right, so the name of this timeline is a timeline of this chapter is a timeline of a week at school. Timeline at a week at school. So if I want to know, this is Bella and Jay, and they made a timeline of their day at school. So if I wanted to know what Bella and Jay did, what they did to how they started their timeline, I'm going to read to find a signal word that's going to tell me how they started their timeline. Okay, so listen. Bella and Jay make a timeline of a week at school. First, they write each day of the week. There it is. I know my signal word is what? What's the signal word I just read? Bella and Jay make a timeline of a week at school. First, they write each day of the week. Say it, everybody. First. Okay, so what was the first thing they did when they started their timeline? They wrote the days of the week. Now, I'm going to read the rest of it, and I want you and your group to tell me what Bella and Jay did second when they were making their timeline. Okay, listen. Listen first. Listen first. Bella and Jay make a timeline of a week at school. First, they write each day of the week. Next, they write an event that happens on each day. Then Bella and Jay use their list to make the timeline. Last, they draw pictures to illustrate their timeline. The pictures help show what the words mean. All right, now I want you to collaborate in your group and tell me what is the second thing that Bella and Jay did. Talk in your group. Oh, I love the way this group is talking and trying to decide. What was the second thing that Bella and Jay did? All right, raise your hand if your group is ready. All right, this group right here, Matthew's group. What did y'all decide was the second thing that Bella and Jay did?
Look at fossils.
They did what?
They look at fossils.
I'm not sure if that's up here or not. What did they do second to make their timeline? Ovea.
Next, they wrote on the event that happened.
Okay, so Matthew, next, see the second thing that they did was they wrote the events that happened on each day. So what do they do after? They use their list to make the timeline. Okay, so we can use signal words to help us know what happens first, what happens second, what happens third, and last, they draw pictures to illustrate their time. All right, so what if, everybody look at me, what if this timeline started at the top?
No, I would not like that.
What if it started at the top? What would happen? Well, it would look a little bit different. It would look like this one. So you would read it from the top, Monday, and you would go down, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Okay, so sometimes it doesn't matter if the line goes across or up or down. All right, so let's look at another timeline. Let's look, well, before we do that, let's do this. Let's practice our signal words. Here's our words: first, next, later, then, last. All right, I want you to decide in your groups, turn and talk, what word are you going to put in this first box? Blank, they write each day of the week. Which signal word are you going to put? Which signal word are you going to put? I love the way this group is talking. And raise your hand when you're finished. Which signal word are you going to put? All right, this group is ready. This group is ready. All right. What signal word, Abigail and Carolina, your group, what signal word are you going to put in that first one?
Next.
Okay. Next, they write each day of the week. Could you put next there? Does someone have something else? What do you have, Ian? What did your group come up with? First. Okay, would first go there? First, they write each day of the week. Was that what happened first?
Yeah.
All right, let's look at the second sentence. What is your group going to put in the second? They write an event that happens each day. What signal word are you going to put there? I love the way Abigail's group is talking. They're turning and talking. Raise your hand when your group has a signal word. Liam and Ian, do y'all have a signal word for this sentence? Next. All right. So we got first they write each day. Next they write an event. Could you use another one? Yeah, what could you use?
Last.
Is that the very last thing you do?
Later.
You could do later, yes. Could you do then? Yes. So you can use signal words, right. So here's this sentence. They use their list to make a timeline. What signal word are you going to put there? Talk about it in your group. What signal word would you put right here? What you got? Last. What you got, Liam? That's not a choice, but last would work. Yes. Probably last would be the best one for this sentence. All right, so we can put different signal words to help us find what's happening in an event from one thing to the next. All right, so let's look at a different timeline. This time, we're going to, won't let me do that. This time we're going to use evidence from our timeline to answer some questions. I can use the timeline to be able to answer some questions about the text. All right, so this timeline is going across, right? So let's look at what this timeline is about. Matthew? What's this timeline about?
Making stuff
Well, let's read the title. The title is The Timeline of the School Year. So this timeline is going across. It's about what happens in the school year, right? So we've got pictures, right? We've got words that have the dates on it, right? And we're going to start reading from the left side, and we're going to read all the way across, just like you did today in your workstations with Miss Hicks, okay? So I've got a couple of questions I want to ask you. So this is finding Finding evidence from our timeline, Ian. Thank you. All right, so the timeline has facts. So there is a lion at the zoo. That's a fact on this timeline. It's a fact. Where did I get that information from?
Timeline.
You got it from the timeline. Did you get it from the picture? Did you get it from the text up here? Where did you get, how do you know that a lion is at the zoo? What evidence lets you know that the lion is at the zoo? Abigail? How do you know that the lion is at the zoo? Yes?
Because of picture.
The picture, right. It says March 6th, field trip to zoo. I know that the lion is at the zoo because the picture shows me. Okay, let's look at another fact. Game day is April 29th. That's a fact that I got from the timeline. Where did I get that fact from? Did I get it from a picture? Did I get it from the text? Did I get it from the text? Or did I get it from the timeline? Matthew and we got, this group is ready. Are y'all ready? Where did I get this fact from? Carolina, what do you think?
The picture.
The picture shows it, but also it has here game day. So you got it from the timeline. So you might get it from the picture and the timeline, or you may just get it from the picture, or you may get it from the text. But you get the facts from your timeline and your text. All right, this one I want y'all to figure out in your group. The school will go from September 6th to May 29th. Okay, that is a fact on our timeline. School starts from September 6th to May 29th. Where did I get that fact from? Decide in your group. Did you get it from a picture? Did you get it from the text? Or did you get it from the timeline? I want all groups to talk. Where did you get that fact from in your timeline? Did you get it from the text up here? Did you get it from the timeline? Or did you get it just from the pictures? Or maybe both? Raise your hand when your group has talked and has an answer. All right, what does this group think? Quick.
Timeline.
Okay, they think they got it from the timeline. Thumbs up if you agree with that. All right. School starts on September 6th, right? School ends on May 29th. Is that on this timeline?
Yeah.
So did that information come from the timeline?
Yeah.
So would that be a thumbs up?
Yeah.
Yes. So that would be a thumbs up. So,
Another way.
pardon me?
There's another way.
What is the other way?
You could look at the picture because if you see the backpack, that means that is where that's one.
So it could be both. So you can get your facts from the picture, and you can, Matthew, you can also get your fact on the timeline from the timeline and then the actual timeline itself. All right, so what we learned today was we learned about using signal words. All right, we learned that a signal word could be what? Name a signal word. Everybody name a signal word all at the same time, whatever it is. What's a signal word? I want to hear it. I am hearing first. I'm hearing next. What else? Oh, next. What else? Last. I heard last. After that. Okay. Signal words tell us the sequence of things. First, I'm going to lunch. Next, I'm going to eat. Last, I'm going to throw in my trash. All right, we also learned about how timelines give us facts and how we can get the facts from the timeline. How do we get the facts from the timeline? It could be from what? 3 things we talked about. The text. What else?
And the timeline.
Ovea, thank you for raising your hand. What else? Never mind. Okay. Carolina. Pictures. So text, picture, and the actual timeline. Good job. Pat yourself on the back.
Let's read the notes from the teacher as she reflected on her lesson and considered feedback to improve her instructional practice. Do you agree with the reflective notes? Additional information on Readers Workshop can be found in the Literacy Resource Guide and within the Benchmark Advanced Curriculum resources. You may also reach out to your ELA ISS for additional information.